Well, you know that old saying, there's strength in numbers? We know there might be wisdom in numbers, there might be money in numbers, there might be a lot of other things as well. Maybe. What we're talking about this week is something called crowdsourcing, and it's this week's topic on The Link. Well, hello and welcome back. Great to have you here. Well, you know how all those internet types love to come up with new terms just to, well, basically confuse you. Well, one of those new terms that's gaining some traction these days is something called crowdsourcing. Now look, I admit the first time I heard this term, I sort of rolled my eyes into the back of my head and thought, oh geez. But you know what? Behind this ungainly term is actually a sort of a brilliant idea and some interesting applications as well. You may have even participated in crowdsourcing and don't even know it. Let's go back just a little bit. It was only a few years ago that a writer named Jeff Howe, writing in Wired magazine, came up with the term crowdsourcing, although I don't know if he was wearing a crown when he did it. And he came up with this definition. He basically said, crowdsourcing is the act of taking a job traditionally performed by a designated employee and outsourcing it, hence the sourcing part, to an undefined, generally large group of people, hence the crowd, in the form of an open call. Well, you know, perhaps one of the greatest success examples of crowdsourcing, although it's pretty transparent, is something called Wikipedia. No doubt you have come across Wikipedia in your time. Over 3.5 million articles in English alone in the many languages. And of course, every article in Wikipedia is written by a crowd. Everybody sort of comes together and throws in what they know. And the idea is that in the crowd there is wisdom, that in the crowd the bad information will get filtered out and the good information will rise to the top like cream and you'll have good product. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But here are a couple interesting and different applications, and some of them that actually can reward you as well. Our first stop on The Link this week is the website called incentive.com. Now, what this place is kind of a place that brings together people that have problems, challenges as they call them, and people who are problem solvers or solvers. So if you as a corporation or as an individual, whatever you are, if you have a particular problem, you can get some money together. You can say, you can publish your problem, ask the crowd of experts who are coming to the site to help you solve your problem, and you can offer a reward as well. A lot of corporations are actually doing this. So for example, among some of these challenges here, predictive data analysis, there's a $100,000 bounty, basically, if you can solve the problem that they lay out. Now, some of these are obviously very technical, and some of them are actually very practical in terms of real-world applications. Here's one, the emergency response to the oil spill in the Gulf. If you have an idea as to how to clean up that oil in the Gulf, if you go to Incentive, you can become, as they call, a solver. You can submit your idea to the crowd. It remains your idea, but in the wisdom of the crowd, the good ideas supposedly sort of rise to the top, the bad ideas fall to the bottom, and the best idea is the one that gets the cash reward. So incentive.com if you're smart and you know you're pretty good at solving problems. Well, our second stop this week on The Link is something somewhat similar. It's a website called Kickstarter.com, and it's really less offers to you for money and more appeals from others for money, very often for artistic projects. So here's a theater project. Here, for example, is a film called Tilt. And if we were to click on that, there is this message that comes from the director of Tilt who is asking you for his money. Let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Phil Holbrook. I am a filmmaker from Brainerd, Minnesota.
Sure, don't you know. So he's very earnest here in the video, and basically this video is a pitch for you to contribute money if you believe in his film that he's trying to make. You can learn more about the film, and also on the website you can also see how much has been pledged so far, how long to go until he has to, until his pledge time runs out, and also the backers. 148 backers. You can even kind of pop in there and look and see who's backing this project, and you can jump in as a backer of a project, very often for as little as $1. So Kickstarter.com, there are hundreds of proposals that people are putting out there, and if you have just a few bucks to throw around to help out the poor starving artists, well, you might want to take a stop at Kickstarter.com. Well, that is the link for this week. Thanks so much for being with us, and by the way, we love hearing from you. Our web address is, or our email address is thelink voanews.com. Always love getting your emails. Do drop us a line. That's the link for this week, and we'll see you again real soon.